Out on the edge of the Middle East, the loudest warning is not a speech. It is training.
When elite forces move in sync, every drill sends a message far beyond the battlefield.
And right now, all eyes turn to the narrow waterway that can shake the world economy overnight.
Because when SEALs, Marines, and Rangers start rehearsing hard missions, people ask the same question.
Is this just readiness or the first shadow of a much bigger storm?
Tonight, we break down what this kind of training could really mean.
This region is not just another flashpoint. It is one of the world's most sensitive choke points.
A disruption here would ripple through fuel prices, markets, alliances, and military planning within hours. Iran sits at the center of that tension, armed, networked, and deeply prepared for pressure. Its power is not built on one front. It is layered across missiles, proxies, terrain, and strategic geography.
That is why Washington watches Iran through the lens of deterrence, posture, and rapid response.
And when deterrence must look believable, joint force readiness becomes the language everyone understands.
Start with the SEALs. Their world begins where precision, surprise, and access matter most.
Maritime interdiction, shipboarding, hostage rescue, coastal raids. These are missions built for uncertainty.
Official training footage shows them drilling raids, combat medicine, and insertion under intense pressure.
They are designed to arrive where conventional force cannot move fast enough. Then come the Marines, a force built for crisis response, expeditionary speed, and immediate presence. Marines do not just fight. They establish presence, seize ground, and create options for commanders fast.
Inside that world, Marine Raiders add a special operations edge. Scalable, expeditionary, and built for unstable environments.
Their role often blends direct action, advising, and the kind of adaptability modern conflict demands. And then there are the Rangers, specialists in speed, shock, and seizing the initiative. For decades, Rangers have trained to hit hard, move fast, and open the door for larger operations. Their value lies in violent tempo, disciplined execution, and interoperability with the broader force. Separate strengths, different cultures, but together, they create a far wider menu of military choices.
That is the real story behind joint training. It is not symbolism. It is problem solving at scale.
Who lands first? Who secures the coastline? Who boards at sea? Who reinforces inland?
Those answers cannot be improvised in a crisis. They must be rehearsed before the first real decision.
Official Navy reporting already shows joint drills involving naval special warfare, a Marine expeditionary unit, and aviation partners.
That kind of training builds trust. Who covers, who extracts, who adapts when the plan starts breaking apart.
Army reporting says Rangers train for interoperability too, because speed means nothing without coordination.
Modern war is not one lane. It is stacked domains hitting all at once.
That is why even invisible threats, jamming, surveillance, deception, now shape how these units rehearse.
A future conflict would begin long before boots cross a shoreline.
It would start with posture, signaling, logistics, and the race to stay one move ahead.
Recent Pentagon statements described added forces in the region as deterrence and protection, not a formal declaration of war.
But deterrence only works if adversaries believe the training behind it is real.
So why would SEALs, Marines, and Rangers matter in an Iran contingency?
Because any crisis here would produce multiple emergencies at the same time.
A ship could be seized. A base could be threatened. A partner facility could come under attack. Decision makers need forces that can reach coastline, infrastructure, airspace, and urban compounds without losing tempo.
That is where Rangers can secure access, Marines can hold and expedite it, and SEALs can strike with precision.
Not because they do the same job, but because together they solve different parts of the same crisis.
Any showdown with Iran would be shaped by terrain as much as politics.
Mountains, deserts, crowded cities, proxy networks, and strategic shoreline. Every layer changes the military math. Iran also built its deterrence around survivability, dispersal, and making every response difficult to predict. That means any operation near Iran would never be simple, clean, or risk-free.
Even a limited confrontation could spread across sea lanes, bases, militias, cyber pressure, and regional retaliation.
That is exactly why elite joint training matters before a crisis reaches the point of no return.
In real life, most military plans are not built around invasion first. They start with contingencies.
One mission may require stealth at sea, another speed in the air, another presence on the ground. That is why Marines bring persistence, not just impact. They extend the clock commanders can work with. Rangers can create access fast, shaping terrain so larger force and relief can flow behind them.
And SEALs can move through the chaos to solve the most time-sensitive problems first.
This is what makes the headline so compelling. It is not one war scenario. It is many.
A regional shock could force commanders to respond in several places before the public fully understands what happened.
And by then, the opening move may already include cyber pressure, proxy attacks, and strategic signaling.
The frightening part of modern deterrence is how close it always stands to miscalculation.
One wrong interception, one strike on a partner, one attack on U.S. personnel. The tempo changes instantly. And when it changes, elite forces are often the first answer before larger formations even arrive.
That is why training footage matters. It reveals what military planners believe may need to happen fast. Boarding drills point to maritime risk. Raid rehearsals point to hard targets and compressed timelines. Marine expeditionary drills point to crisis response, where persistence and flexibility matter as much as firepower.
Ranger rehearsals point to access, airfields, critical sites, and the race to control momentum early.
When those patterns overlap, analysts begin asking whether the Pentagon is rehearsing options for the hardest days.
Not because war is guaranteed. Because credible planners prepare before guarantees disappear.
And if a war ever did erupt, the first victims would not just be soldiers.
Energy markets, shipping crews, regional civilians, and allied governments would all feel the shock immediately.
Conflicts around strategic waterways rarely stay local. They expand through economics, fear, and political reaction. And for the forces training now, every repetition exists to reduce chaos when real lives are on the line. That is why casualty drills are never background details. They are a reminder of what planners hope to prevent.
Behind every headline are human beings preparing for outcomes no one can fully control.
Which brings us to the deeper truth. Training for war is not always the same as wanting one.
Sometimes the purpose of visible readiness is to keep the shooting from starting at all.
The stronger the joint force looks, the harder it may be for an adversary to gamble recklessly.
In that sense,
The drill itself can be part warning, part insurance policy.
But insurance policies exist because risk is real, and this region remains one of the world's most combustible crossroads. So when elite units train together, the smart question is not only what they are doing,
it is what future problem they are trying to solve before the public sees it.
SEALs bring precision, Marines bring presence, Rangers bring speed. Together, they create strategic flexibility.
And in a crisis involving Iran, flexibility may be the difference between containment and escalation.
Because history has shown again and again that this narrow stretch of water can carry global consequences.
So no, training alone does not prove war is coming. But it does prove leaders are thinking about it.
And when the world's most capable forces begin rehearsing together, everyone should pay attention.